Ghana has reported South Africa to the African Union (AU) over recurring xenophobic attacks targeting African nationals, including Ghanaians living and doing business in the country. Accra says it has formally petitioned the AU to place the matter on the agenda of its 8th Media Coordination meeting next month. Accra says the move comes after complaints of harassment, intimidation and threats against Ghanaians living and doing business in South Africa, as periodic crackdowns and protests linked to immigration resurface. So far, the African Union itself has not issued a major public response to the latest attacks, with criticism growing over what some see as silence from the continental body on a recurring issue affecting African migrants.
Breaking news: South Africa is in big trouble with other African countries because of attacking African foreigners in South Africa. So a lot of African countries, they are joining hands to condemn all these attacks in South Africa, as countries like Nigeria, Kenya, Lesotho, Ghana, they have even reported South Africa in African Union. Ghana government is very serious on protecting their people while they're in South Africa, and even Nigeria is even threatening diplomatic and economic measures against South Africa. So there is a lot of big companies owned by South Africa in Nigeria, like MTN and DSTV, and also these companies, they are also in Ghana. These two companies generate a lot of money in Nigeria and also in Ghana. MTN Nigeria generates about 14.2 billion naira every day per day, and MTN Ghana generates about 66.8 million Ghana cedi per day. If Nigeria decide to attack South Africa's economy, let me tell you, definitely South Africa's economy is going to be affected. And also Ghana, let me tell you, Ghana is not playing with what South Africans are doing to Ghanaian people. They are very serious and they are ready to protect their people.
So Ghana reported South Africa to the African Union. My question is, for what outcome exactly? Do you expect the African Union to take a decisive action against South Africa? Come on, man. The African Union approach everything with diplomacy. So they're not going to take real-time action against South Africa. There will be no military action against South Africa. There will be no sanction. Yes. And the track record of the African Union when it comes to dealing with top African states is weak. Okay? So let's call it spade a spade. The African Union is a symbolic of what could be, not what it is. What the African Union is right now is a ceremonial club for African presidents to meet together, shake hands. Okay? The African Union has always struggled with enforcement. They are going to release statements, condemn violence, encourage dialogue, and call for calm. That's it. They don't take real-time action, let alone decisive action. Come on, man. Let's not waste our time. The African Union is a weak organization. It's more of, a ceremonial political club for African presidents to gather, take photos, and issue statements. So don't expect military action, political isolation, major sanction against South Africa from the African Union. It won't happen. The African Union cannot punish South Africa over migration tension in South Africa and over accusation of xenophobia. And by the way, it is within the sovereign right of South Africa, okay, to demand accountability from foreigners in South Africa. And if you don't like how you're being treated in South Africa as a foreigner in South Africa, you leave the country. South Africans' demand is very simple. Respect us or leave our country. Respect our laws or leave our country. Respect our people or leave our country. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. And it doesn't make sense that Ghana is reporting South Africa to the African Union. At the same time, Ghanaians are on the street of Ghana calling on foreigners in the country to leave Ghana, particularly Nigerians. The Ghanaians are calling on Nigerians in Ghana to leave Ghana. At the same time, the government of Ghana is reporting South Africa to the African Union for calling on Nigerians in South Africa to leave South Africa. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You are doing the same thing that South Africans are doing if you are going to be logical. The difference is that the media is hyper-focused on what is going on in South Africa, because the goal is to weaponize the situation. Simplifying every immigration-related issue in South Africa to one umbrella: xenophobia. Even Black Americans that boycott Africa-owned businesses in America last year are coming out to bash South Africans. And some of you say stuff like, white people are in charge of your country. What are you doing to the white people? What are Nigerians doing to the white people that are in charge of Nigeria? Or you think Nigerians are in control of Nigeria? What are Nigerians doing to the Lebanese man that is controlling the current administration in Nigeria? Do you know how many top companies in Nigeria that are owned by white people? Even in Kenya. There's no African country today where white people don't influence. But we are constantly calling on South Africans, black South Africans precisely, to face white South Africans and prove their Africanness. Even black Americans that are systematically targeted in America are pressuring black South Africans to fight white South Africans to prove their blackness. It doesn't make sense.
Sometimes it's really hard to understand the kind of leadership we have in this continent. So Ghana reports South Africa to the African Union over attacks on migrants in South Africa. But honestly, I think the entire conversation is being framed wrong. Let's be absolutely clear. Violence against migrants is unacceptable. No justification, no excuses. But at the same time, you cannot ignore what's happening inside South Africa itself. South Africans have a fundamental right to protest about unemployment, inequality, crime, economic pressure, and the struggles they are facing in their own country. That right exists in every democracy. And here is where I disagree with how this is being handled. Everyone jumps straight to condemnation and diplomacy, but nobody stays long enough to ask why this keeps happening in the first place. Why are African youths migrating in such large numbers? Is it really just choice, or is it because opportunity is collapsing in too many places across the continent? Because migration pressure does not appear from nowhere. People move when systems stop working, when jobs disappear, when economies fail, when survival becomes uncertain. So when Ghana takes this issue to the AU, the question should not only be how do we stop tensions in South Africa? The bigger question should be, why is Africa producing so much forced migration in the first place? And why is that conversation constantly avoided at leadership level? Because honestly, why does the AU only become active after tensions explode? Why is there more urgency after violence than before the conditions creating the pressure? So yes, condemn the violence completely, but don't pretend condemnation alone solves anything long term. Because if the root causes stay untouched, this circle does not end. Thank you all for watching.
First of all, this Ghana Pan-Africanism team, I know they understand though. Seriously. Now look at this. Ghana petitions African Union to address xenophobic attacks on African migrants in South Africa. So Okujato wrote to African Union and told them that this should be on agenda on the next general meeting. I have the honor on behalf of the Republic of Ghana to respectfully submit for inclusion on the agenda of the 8th Media Coordination Meeting of the African Union, scheduled to take place 24 to 27 June. As a matter of urgent continental interest, the topic of xenophobic attack in the Republic of South Africa against African nationals. Work where they not send when a ministers where they do. You, instead of you to be writing home to Latvia, to the European Union, pushing Latvia to look for to arrest the people that did this thing to Nana J, you are saying they should go and salmon. I don't understand this one. So wait, what will African Union do to South Africa right now? Same African Union that Ruto said are not fit for purpose. No, what would they do to South Africa? Would they expel them? Would they tell South Africans like anything going on in Africa? African Union don't give statement. The only time they'll come out and give statement is if they do coup. Go and look at what the Tutsis and the Himas are going through in Congo. Have you ever seen African Union release a statement? You are praying day and night for Nana J to get justice. You are not pressuring the Latvia government. You are rather writing to African Union to do what? Like what will African Union do to South Africa? Would they tell South Africans that South Africans sit in your homes? Like I don't understand. What will happen after this? Or will African Union send soldiers to South Africa to go and gag the South African citizens? What? Like I want to know the purpose of this. Somebody's country, they say they don't want other people there. It's very simple. It's their country. It's your country. Allow them to do in their country what they want to do. It's very simple. They say they are taking their jobs. You know, they are selling drugs. So the people should go. And then you are writing to African Union to do what? I said, me, this Pan-Africanism thing now, and I don't concern you. Now, me, I be nationalist too. Let's concentrate on our country. The issues in Ghana is plenty. You want to... Charlie Okuja told them things right now, myself, I know they understand. If I was to be Pan-Africanist.
Good evening, lovelies. Welcome again to another video. I don't see am now see dey hot in Ghana today. This situation should remind every African country that division and xenophobia can never build a continent. That is just the truth. Ghana raising concern about attacks on African national. In South Africa, it's not just about one country, fighting another. It is about protecting Africans everywhere. Many Ghanaians, Nigerians, Zimbabweans, and other Africans live, work, and do business across Africa, especially in South Africa, and they are all deserve safety and respect. Instead of attacking fellow Africans, government should focus on unemployment, security, economic growth, and better opportunity for their citizens. That is just the truth. Africans moving from one country to another is normal because Africa is connected through trade, education, and business. The same way South Africans live in other African countries peacefully, foreigners living in South Africa should also be treated fairly. The advice here is simple. Africans must stop turning against each other and start working together. Unity is stronger than hate. Social media should not be used to spread insults, tribalism, or anger between countries. Leaders should encourage peace, dialogue, and the cooperation between the divided Africa. Will only slow down development. At the end of the day, whether Ghanaian, Nigerian, South Africa, or Kenya, we are all Africans first. The continent grows faster when there is peace, respect, and unity among its people. Thank you for watching, people. My name is Linda. Please, if you are new here, you are welcome. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the bell notification so that whenever there is a new upload, you'll be the first to be notified. If you have not liked this video, please do the needful, like the video. It is your duty. Your opinion is needed in the comment. Please drop your thoughts. Share this video so that it will circulate.